Hi students, welcome back to today's class. Today we are going to see unit 2, that is programming methodology. Under this chapter 2 programming methodology we are going to see here, and already we have seen the first chapter, that is algorithms and flowcharts, and even unit 3 introduction to Python, also getting started, functions, conditional and looping constructs chapters we have completed. So totally we have completed 4 chapters. Now we are going to see the programming methodology. So let us move on to this topic because fully this is related to how we can write the programs, good programs, and what are the ways we can write the programs. All those things we will discuss here today. So after you learn this lesson, you will be able to understand the need for good programs, okay, and you will understand how to solve problems using different ways, okay. So programming means it's a problem solving activity, so that's why it is called as it is used to solve the problems, okay. So you will understand how to solve problems using different ways, and you will get clear idea about problem solving methodology, and then you'll understand the different type of errors that normally occurs while writing a program. So all these things you will understand here in this lesson. So let us move on to the introduction part. So when you are learning to write a computer program, it is very much like learning any skill. So whatever skills you are learning, it is same like writing a computer program also. So learning to write a computer program also. So first we should understand the problems well, and then try to solve it in a logical manner. So if you want to write a program for any kind of problem, so like mathematical problems you can take. So programming means it's a problem solving activity only, known as programming. So we should understand the problems first, and then we need to try to solve it in a logical manner. Okay, so logical way, we need to use formulas, whatever formulas possibilities are available. We need to make use of that formulas or possible ways in order to obtain the correct solution or result for that given problem. Okay, for example, we have read many books available in the market for describing the car driving methods. So even if you study many books for learning for car driving, however, we can learn driving once we actually get into the car and start driving it. So once you do as a practice only, you will able to understand and learn how to drive the car. Okay, the same logic is applied in computer programming also. Computer programming means it is the process of writing, testing, troubleshooting, debugging, and maintaining of a computer program. So all these steps are needed in order to write the computer programming. Okay, to computer programming is the process of writing a program and testing a program. After writing, we need to test the program. So how we can test? By giving input, and whether we are getting correct output for the given input or not, we will check it. Okay, and then troubleshooting. It means any errors are there or not that need to be find out. Okay, and that should be rectified also. And debugging also, it's a kind of a process of finding and rectifying the errors. Okay, and maintaining of a computer program. Maintenance in the sense any new additions, no, any new updations if you want to make in a programming, you need to do it. And any kind of changes if you want to make according to the customer's wish, we can make modification also in the already created program. So that is only known as maintenance. Okay, so maintaining of a computer program. So all these steps only making a computer programming. Okay, so an effective program is that which gives result of all different inputs, including wrong input also. It should give correct there is some mistake in your program, or some kind of errors will be displayed for the effective program. So an effective program is that which gives result of all different inputs, including wrong input also. It should give the result for us. Okay, an effective program, even for a wrong input, it should give some output. What kind of output? Some error, type error or name error, like that. It should display some kind of output to us. Okay, while creating a program, we need to follow certain systematic approach. Okay, that is step-by-step approach we need to follow. This systematic approach comprises two steps or two things, that is program structure and program representation. Program structure is implemented by using a top-down or bottom-up approach and is known as popular approach. And while program representation, it plays an important role in making the program more readable and understandable. So there are two ways, there are two steps are to be followed in the systematic approach in order to write or create any program. First one is program structure. So program structure in the sense whether we need to follow top-down approach or bottom-up approach. Okay. So when you are writing a program, whether you will start from smaller modules to bigger program you will create, that is top down. And bottom up means starting up with the smaller and adding extending the functionalities of the given program. That is known as bottom up approach. Okay. And the program representation, it plays an important role in making the program more readable and understandable. It should be easily understood by every users or everyone who are making use of the program. It should be able to understandable. So that will be taken care by the program representation. Next, what is a good program? A good program means that it should produce correct and faster results. That is precise, clear results it should produce, and faster way the result should be obtained by the good program. Taking into account all the memory constraints. So whatever, in whichever system you are creating a program, it should take into account that all the memory constraints, that is memory problems, whatever hardware related issues or software hardware related issues, even if it is there, it should be able to produce the correct and faster results. Okay. While making a good program, we need to follow certain guidelines of a programming language for creating a successful program. Okay, we need to follow certain rules and regulations, that is called a syntax. We need to follow the syntax when we are creating the program. The following is the list of good programming habits that most people agree. So what are the good programming habits? Okay, so if you want to generate a good program, what are the guidelines we need to follow? First one, there should be clarity and simplicity in expression. That is clarity and simplicity of expression. What is meant by expression? Expressions are nothing but it is a combination of operators, operands, and constants. Okay. And expression are used to implement a particular task. So because without expression we cannot perform any kind of action. Okay, any kind of task we cannot able to complete. Mainly mathematical related problems, if you want to solve, you need to write a formula that will be consisting of expression only. The formula will have operators and variables are constants. Okay, so this only make a expression. So expressions are used to implement a particular task. It is a combination of operators like x, okay, sorry, star, multiplication, combination of operators. Operands means x, okay, and constants, that is 6. Okay, so like that we should have a combination of operators, operands, and constants in an expression. Any expression used in the program should be understood by the user. So whatever expressions we are using in the program, it should be understood by the user. The following are some of the points to be kept in mind while using expressions in a program. So first one is use library functions to make more programs more powerful. Okay, so instead of writing the formula like this, no, x power 6. So how we can write x power 6, x into x into x, 6 times we need to write the x, and we should write operators, no, 5 times. Okay, multiplication operator 5 times. So instead of writing this lengthier expression, what we can do is we can make use of the library functions. So this power function we can make use from the math module. Okay, already we have learned some of the modules which are there in the Python standard library. So from that math module, if you import that math module, you can make use of this library functions. Okay, so power of, that is POW, not POWER, POW of x comma 6. So x, for x you need to pass the base value. So 10 to the power 6 or 2 to the power 6, like that you can give the value inside the parentheses. Okay, so we can make use of the library functions in order to make the program more powerful one. And next one, when we are writing expression, no, clarity and simplicity should be there in the expression. No? So we are going to implement simplicity. Follow simplicity to maintain the clarity of the expression. Okay, so here a plus b divided by a minus b minus u plus by divided by x plus y. So like that one expression is given for the variable, output variable x. Okay, so output variable x is assigned with a plus b by a minus b and minus u plus vy by x plus y. So these two are making one group, and u plus vy by xy is making another group. In between minus operator we have. Okay, so here how we can simplify this expression? This is complex expression. Okay, so how we can simplify this in an easier way? First we need to assign a plus b by a minus b to some variable. Okay, x1. Let us consider that variable as x1. So a plus b should be written in parenthesis slash A minus B should be written in parentheses, okay, to avoid confusions for the computer, okay. And next expression how we can write is, for the output variable x2, for the another variable x2, we are writing u plus v multiplication y. We should not write vy because computer won't understand what is vy means. It will consider this vy as one single variable. So for that, we need to write in a clear format. Clarity we need to maintain in the expression. So in between v and y, we have multiplication operator. Okay, that should be explicitly written when we are writing the expression in the computer. When we are writing the program also, everything need to be clearly mentioned. It is not a human being to understand vy means it's the v into y. Like that, it won't understand. Computer will not understand. So we need to write every operator clearly. Okay, clarity there should be there in the writing expression, because expression only will give you the result. After completing evaluation, it will give us the result. Okay, so x2 is equal to u plus v into y, that is considered to be one particular expression, and divided by another expression is x plus y. So u plus vy by x plus y. So x plus y, it is already, the plus operator is explicitly given. Okay, so you just include within parentheses. Okay, and afterwards this is having minus in between, that is a plus b by a minus b, and u plus by by x plus y is having minus operator in between, so that we can write like this. Okay, so x is equal to x1 minus x2. So now we made this expression or complex expression as a simple one. Next guideline what we need to follow in order to implement clarity and uh, simplicity in the expression means, avoid program tricks usage whose meaning is difficult to understand by the user. So program tricks and all, we should not use it if it is difficult to understand by the user. Okay, next guideline, use of proper names for identifiers. So if you want to write a good program, okay, if you want to write a good program, first thing what we need to have as a habit means, there should be clarity and simplicity in writing expression. And second one, use of proper names for identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but variables. Variable names are function names. Okay, so identifiers are user defined names, because user only writing that name or defining the name for the variable or a function. Okay, so identifiers are user defined names. They are used to name things. A name is associated with a function or data object. That is, data object in the sense constants are variables. For example, pi is equal to 3.14. So for that you can write pi. So that is going to hold that value 3.14. So 3.14 here is constant. So for representing constant or variable values, we need to write the identifier. No, so identifiers are nothing but it's a name associated with the function or data object like constants and variables, and used to refer to that function or a data object. Identifiers are made up of letters, that is capital A to Z, A to capital Z, and small a to small z, or we can have digits also from 0 to 9, and the underscore character. Only these characters are going to be allowed in the identifiers, except underscore. Other characters and all other special characters like question mark, semicolon, colon, comma, and all should not be used in the identifier, writing an identifier or naming an identifier. However, must begin with a letter. So the identifiers, no, however, must it begin with a letter or underscore, not with a digit. So this rule you need to understand. That is, what is the rule for writing an identifier? Always identifier, you should have letters, that is capital A to small, capital Z, small a to z, digit 0 to 9, and the underscore character, and they must begin with a letter or underscore, and it should not begin with a digit. That everyone need to understand when we are writing the variable name or a function name. And next one, we need to give meaningful name for a variable and a function. So what task we are going to perform in the given in the particular program, according to that we need to write the variable names and function names. Okay, so then only the user will be able to understand the purpose of the program. So what purpose the program, what is the work of the program, they will be able to understand by seeing the variable name or by seeing the function name. Okay, so for example, to calculate area of a square, we use the variable names are area and side. So area we need to calculate. So for that output variable name, how we are giving as area alone. So we should not give A is equal to S into S. We can give, but if you give explicitly correctly the variable name, no, there should be meaning in writing a variable name. Okay, so meaningful name we need to give for variable name, so that we are writing, because we want to find out the area of a square. So you can write like area underscore square is equal to sides are side star side, that is side into side. If you multiply side into side, you will get the area of the square. So by seeing this expression, we will understand the purpose of the program. Okay. Next one, use proper names for constants. Like I said, pi is equal to 3.14. We should not use this special character. So we need to write like this only. So pi is equal to 3.14. Like that, we can assign any constant value to the variable. And don't use same name like custom, customer, account, or accountant. So the same name of variable should not be repeated in the entire program. So that should be avoided. And do not use one letter identifiers. One letter identifiers in the sense, as I said, A is equal to S star S. Like that, never use. Okay, don't use one letter identifiers. Next one is comments. Comments also. So these are the guidelines we need to follow. Use of proper names for identifiers, clarity and simplicity of expression. And we need to give comments also in the program. And then indentation we need to give properly. So these are the four guidelines we need to follow while writing a good program. So say third one is comment. A comment is a programming language construct which is used to embed programmer readable annotations in the source code of a computer program. The programmer will be able to read that statements in the source code of a computer program, so that we need to embed, we need to attach with the programming itself. Okay. Those annotations are potentially significant, important to the programmers, but typically ignorable to compilers and interpreters, because compilers and interpreters will never bother about the comments. Just they will ignore it when it is executing the program. But these comments are very, very useful for the programmers or any user. If he is going to continue that program in a future, he'll be able to understand by seeing the comment lines. Okay, comments. Comments are usually added with the purpose of making the source code easy to understand. So anyone can read the program and understand the program with the help of the comments. Hence, adding comments to your code in simple English language that describes the function of the code and reason for your decision to do it in a particular way as well. So what is the function of the code? Everything can be described with the help of the simple English language when we are adding the comments to the program. They are generally categorized as either block comment or line comment. So how we can categorize the comments? Either as a block comment or line comment. What is block comment and how it is going to be written? So block comment is implemented in Python by using a triple quotes. Okay. So triple double quotes we need to write for starting and ending place. In between we can write more than one line. So that will make a block comment. Line comment is implemented by using a hash. So only one single line we can write by using the hash operator. Okay, hash operator followed by hash special character followed by, we need to write only one single line. But here in the triple quotes, we can write more than one line also. So for example, write a program to print all the numbers from 1 to 100 using while loop in Python. So a is equal to 1. See here, it's a while statement like that. Using hash, I have written single line. It was written as single line comment. Okay. So this is indicating that it is while statement. Okay. So small a is equal to 1, while a within parentheses a is less than 100. So up to 1 to 100 we need to generate. 1 to 99 we need to generate. Or if you want to have 100 also, means you just give a less than or equal to 100, close the parenthesis, at the end colon, print a is equal to a plus 1. So first a1 will be printed. Next a will get incremented 2. It will check the condition. 2 is less than 100. So condition true. Again it will print 2. Then 2 will become 3. Like that it will be going on up to this condition becomes false. Okay. Next is indentation. So leading white space are the spaces and tabs we are giving at the beginning of each statement. That is only known as indentation. What is meant by indentation? Leading white spaces. The white spaces will be in the beginning of the statement. We will be having white spaces. So that is why it is called as leading white spaces, or we will say spaces and tabs at the beginning of each statement. which is used to determine the group of statement is known as indentation. So it is used to determine the group of statements. So which is where the block is started. So based on the indentation, we can identify where the one block is started, where another block is started, like that. Based on the spaces, we can understand. If we leave only 4 spaces, that is one block. If you are leaving another 4 spaces, 4 white spaces, that is totally 8 spaces. If you are giving from the beginning of the statement, then we will call that as inner block of that outer block. Okay, so like that we can write the indentation. So here we can see the example when we are writing the indentation. So if a greater than b colon, okay, see here 4 white spaces we have left from this if place, and just we are printing a is big. So this is one block that is indicated with which comment, line comment. Okay, so this is block 1. Then else, print b is big. Okay, so first we are printing when a is greater than b, we are printing a is big, that is going to be a block 1, and else we need to print b is big, that is going to be considered to be a block 2. So in the above example, in both the examples, if you see, this if and else is following the same line, but print statements are considered to be a block. Why it is called as block? Because it is written with 4 white spaces. This statement is belongs to this if condition, and the next print statement is belongs to this else condition. Okay, so this is considered to be a block 1, and this is going to be considered as block 2. So in the above examples, if statements are the type of code block, if the if expression evaluates to true, then block 1 is executed, otherwise it's execute block 2. Obviously blocks can have multiple lines also. Here in this program, in this simple program, we have only one block, only one line is there in the block. But if we are going to write bigger programs and all, okay, so we will be having more than one line also in a block. Okay, so blocks can have multiple lines as long as they are all indented with the same amount of spaces. They forms one block. So if you are writing again with the same indentation, some more lines now here. So the all these lines are statements which is having the same indentation will be making one block. Will be making one block. They will forming one block. Okay. So in the next video, we will see the characteristics of good programming. Okay. Thank you, students.